installment of Wheelchair Wednesday here at the Wheelhouse. I'm your host, Wheelchair Rick. I'm a T3, T4 paraplegic, complete. And we talk to all kinds of wheelchair users all across America. And the world, actually. But today we have a special guest coming to us straight from the great state of Minnesota. We're going to get to him in just a minute. Before we do that, let's go ahead and roll the intro. Welcome to Wheelchair Wednesday. All right, so let's give it up for Ryan Neslund. What is up, my friend?
Hi, everybody.
Now, I did it again. I kind of messed up the, the music there at the intro part because we had the throwback not too long ago, but we saved it a little bit. No big deal. Ryan, how you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for being on. I tell everybody it's a great honor to do this. I've been told we help people, and so that's our goal. Now, the basis of this show, you said you've seen it. You kind of know how it goes. We're going to ask you 10 questions about life in a wheelchair. The first question is kind of just the introduction. Go ahead and tell people about who you are and kind of how your accident happened.
Well, my name is Ryan Neslund. I was born and raised in Minnesota, west suburbs of Minneapolis, like Lake Minnetonka area. And I was a competitive motocross racer and was training to go pro. I was in B class, which is in Minnesota, it's one level below pro. In some states, they call it intermediate. But I was going to Loretta Lynn's, which is an amateur national, and I had qualified in my area, which was in Three Palms, Texas, because I was living in Texas at the time. And then I was moved back to Minnesota for the spring, summer, fall season. And then, I cased a big triple, a week before I got paralyzed and hurt my back, where I'd have my buddy load my bikes out, maybe 2 weeks, but it hurt for like a day or two, and I took like a week off riding. I never went to the doctor, but I could have already fractured it at that point, is probably what the truth would be. But in my brain, I couldn't take any time off because I had this big race coming up and I had to train and be in shape and have all my crap together. So I kept riding, and me and a buddy went to like a really epic high level track down 20 minutes from my house or so. And it was kind of muddy and slippery or whatever, but we were just riding and everybody was kind of back in the pits, but I just kept doing my motos, trying to just grind it out, stay in shape, make do with the bad conditions. And then I was going through like a sand whoop section, and my bike standing up normally turned sideways. It's called a high side.
Oh, no.
Pitched me off the bike at a, third, fourth gear wide open basically, and landed on my butt really hard, and it severed my spine at T6, which is probably where my crack was from the weeks before when I cased that triple. But I just laying there limp and not trying to touch my stomach and my legs, and I couldn't feel my hands or touching myself, and I knew I was I pretty much knew I was screwed there. But
right.
They took me in a helicopter to the hospital and did all the, stabilization and whatnot. And then I was in the hospital in Minnesota for like a week and a half. And then a friend of mine from college found a clinical trial from Geron, it's called, and it was stem cell clinical trial. So my buddies drove me to Chicago in a Suburban, and I moved into the Northwestern Rehabilitation Hospital, RIC, where they a couple days later injected stem cells into my injury site on an experimental. Experimental, but it was like just to see what the bad effects. Like it was I forget exactly the terminology, but they were just making sure it wouldn't give you cancer or whatever. Right. So I was like a straight guinea pig, and I just didn't care at the moment. I was like,
I was going to
in
say,
my
that doesn't
mind.
really inspire much confidence. Just
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
we're going to see if it works or not, or something might bad. I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but
yeah.
something's going to
I
happen.
was one. I was one of 6 people in America that got it done. I was the second person, and then they did that, and then I stayed in Chicago and finished, my rehabilitation where I wore that turtle shell plastic TLSO or whatever you call it,
Mm-hmm.
and lived there for a few months, and then moved from Chicago to Arizona because that's where my uncle was at, and it was more wheelchair friendly. Lived there for like a year or so. Then I moved to Basalt, Colorado, which is like a suburb near Aspen, where my cousin lived, to try to just do some sit skiing and just try to stay active and just you know stay busy. Whatever. I never lived in the mountains. I always wanted to. And like, yeah, I did a bunch of snowmobiling. If you guys look at my Facebook page, you'll see I had an adaptive snowmobile, and we'd go up in the mountains and do all this snowmobiling. And that turned into, from that snowmobiling, I got offered a racing gig um, through a team in Minnesota for Arctic Cats. So I ended up racing adaptive snowcross. And then I got hurt again, blew out my back doing that. So I just quit. I was like, I just gave up. And then, yeah, so then I moved back to Minnesota for work purposes, and I've been living here most ever since. I spent a few winters in Florida just recently, and just was too hard moving back and forth for financial reasons, work reasons. It's my dog in the back there,
Nice.
Ranger. He's just going to lay down in his bed, it looks like. But so yeah, so I've been moving all around, doing all kinds of stuff. Just did some sit skiing and did some snowmobiling and some fishing when I was in Colorado, and now I'm back to Minnesota, just working and just trying to stay busy.
How long ago was your accident?
Oh, okay. It was April 23rd, 2011. So 12,
Okay.
13 years ago. Yeah, 13.
So that's a pretty
right?
significant amount of time to
Yeah.
live life with a spinal cord injury. I do got to say, you have the most interesting background of all of our spinal cord injury patients. It's actually a spiral staircase right behind them, folks, for all our audio listeners who can't watch the video. Never seen that before. Now, granted, obviously, we all live with people who are able-bodied, and they use a staircase. But could you imagine a stair lift going up a spiral staircase? That would be
Oh,
hilarious.
that would be a bitch. Right behind that, you guys can't see it because there's the wall there, but that's an elevator shaft right
Oh,
behind
nice.
that staircase. So I have an elevator in my house, and yeah,
Heck
I've only
yeah.
had to go up. My buddy had to carry me up when the elevator broke. My buddy, who's real big and strong, luckily, he had to carry me up and down those stairs a couple times. So I've only gone up and down them, I think, once.
Wait, those
But
stairs behind you, your buddy had to
yeah,
carry you up those?
yeah,
Oh, my goodness.
yeah. He's a big, strong dude, luckily. But yeah, it wasn't fun. But luckily, got the elevator fixed in a few days, and was back in business. So
That is crazy. Well, that's a heck of a story already. Off to a great start, ripping through it. Guy's an athlete, folks. You sit ski after the accident. You had to stay mobile. What are you thinking now? Are you going to ever get back into it at all, or are you thinking of different
sports.
things? Yeah, different kind of adaptive sports.
Just on my shoulder, from motocross my whole life, my shoulders and my elbows, and I've dislocated my elbow like 15 times. Shoulders been out 3 times. My wrists, and I mean, I just have too many injuries probably to do any cool sports. But I plan on like staying active at the gym, and I do a lot of swimming. That's kind of my jam. That lets me
Nice.
kind of get my brain straight. If I can grind out some laps in the pool.
Shout out
And
Amy Claire. She's one of our previous Wheelchair Wednesdays we just talked to. She just swam way longer than I've ever heard of any paraplegic swimming. She was trying to, I think, break a record, and she got pretty far, but that's another story. But yeah, no. So, hello, live viewers. I see over there, Michael Miranda. Thanks for viewing us. If you guys have any questions for Ryan, let me know. Besides our normal questions. So yeah, I mean, staying active is cool and all that stuff. I've never really been a super athletic guy. I played, basketball every once in a while here and there, but I've been more into other things really. And it's cool to see somebody who actually, was in it, got hurt on a dirt bike and said, you know what, I'm going to keep doing something, and tried, to get back into different things. So yeah, heck yeah, man. Kudos to you. My second question for you that I got is, would you walk if you could? Now, what I mean by that is, if you could go back to the day of your accident and not hit those, whoop-de-woos the wrong way,
Just stay off the
and
bike.
stay off
Yeah.
the bike that day, maybe. Now,
Yeah.
now, if you do that, you lose all the knowledge and all the stuff that you've gained so far to this point, but you're going to go right back to where you were at that moment. Would you go back there, or would you stay here?
I would go back just because of the difficulties of living. I have lived by myself and whatnot, and lost my girlfriend, and like my mom died, and like it's so difficult to live in a wheelchair solo like I'm doing that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We're worried about getting older, even, where it's just going to get worse. But so I would go back just so I could take care of myself. But I'll tell you what, my entire life, like everybody knows, has changed in my perspective. I mean, most people maybe don't know much about motocross, but it sounds bad, but it's the most selfish sport on the planet. And
Yeah.
it kind of has to be, because your life is on the line for one thing, your financial success, the amount of money, the danger, the effort. I mean, it's a cardio sport. Most people don't know much about motocross unless they've done it, but it requires an insane amount of cardio training. You're on the bike standing, going through bumps for 30 minutes at a time. And it's, you can look it up. It's supposedly one of the most, if not the most, difficult endurance sports in the world, even over like soccer and running, because it's, full body. Plus your mind is focused. You're going to be seriously injured. People die all the time on it.
Right.
So ever since I quit motocross and kind of got through the few years of, being injured, where I was still like kind of moving around and doing my thing, I refocused all my energy on helping other people, which something I really didn't. I mean, I did, I guess, a little bit. I always helped other riders and took them riding and let them ride at my house and stuff back then. But now, like, I focus a ton of my energy on just helping the young kids that live in my area. I do some coaching of hockey, some a little bit of motocross coaching, and I do some wakeboard and wake surfing coaching. And so now I just, my whole life is about other people, and I just do what I can to take care of my health the best I can.
Nice.
But yeah, so yeah, I changed. I'm glad. I learned a lot. I met so many people from being injured, and like it's incredible how many people are out there to help people who are injured. If you put yourself out there and meet the right people, like doors can open. And
Oh, exactly.
it isn't the end of the world. It sucks, and especially when you're like I was, where I was super athletic and active, like never sat down ever my whole life until I got paralyzed. Now I'm sitting permanently. So it's I got to live two lives basically. I'm a whole different person now. So
Yep.
it's I would have never lived two lives. Now I don't know where I would have been if I kept racing. I could have gone really bad, could have been dead, could have married the wrong
Could have
woman.
made it pro. Could have been up there.
Yeah, could have went pro. Could a lot of options on the table, but I got to live two lives, which most people will never get to do. So besides other paraplegics and whatnot. But so I guess it was super, obviously great learning experience. Sucks to have people help me do stuff. I was a very independent person, so that's the biggest frustration probably, is the lack of independence.
Yeah, that's definitely a pet peeve, and we're gonna get into that question too. Yeah. TJ from Ireland, good evening. What's up, TJ? Thanks for joining us. Greg says heart stays above 180 BPM during a motocross race.
Yeah, like closer to 200. Yeah, it's gnarly.
I've seen some video of these guys, man, like going through this, and like in order just to go over, like you said, like a whoop section, you have to be trained to know where that bike's going to hit every time and get the right amount of speed to where you're not going to hit that rut. Because as soon as you hit the rut, you're done. You're slowing down and you're out of the race, right?
You have to have your body in the right position to prepare if you are going to hit the rut, and be on the throttle. The more throttle, the better, actually, through the whoops.
Yep.
People get scared. You let off the throttle, then your nose dives down in between the whoops, and then you're really in trouble. Then you're going over the bars, or, it can get real ugly. That's where I got paralyzed. The whoops are the most dangerous, hardest part of the whole sport. Jumping looks hard or whatever. That requires just doing it all the time, and, having your, knowing how fast to hit it or whatever, and having your body in the right spot. And, jumping is probably the easiest part of motocross, even though it to some people it may look the hardest, but the jumps are,
Are
they say
simple
there's
compared to the rest of it, right? The rest of the
yeah,
racing.
there's an old saying in motocross: you jump for show, corner for dough. So corner speed is everything in motocross,
Yeah.
and and then the corner speed allows you to hit the whoops because you got to go through the corner fast to have the right speed to get into the whoops properly. So if you don't go through the corner fast, you can't even go through the whoops. So you're cornering is everything. That's
Right.
like the bottom line for people that don't know.
Now, here's a question for you. Number 3 on our list is dating/married. Now, you said you've been living alone for the whole time. What's the deal? There's no available women in Minnesota that just, are looking for a strapping young ex-motorcycle rider?
Yeah, I had a girlfriend when I got paralyzed, and she basically dumped me 2 months later. But I don't blame her. She was, yeah, she was busy, had stuff to do. But yeah, I moved too. So it is what it is. But and then I had one of my old girlfriends, and we got back together. A girl that I dated back in the old days, high school, college era. We kind of dated and just didn't, it didn't work out. We tried for like a year and a half, 2 years. And then after that, I dated a couple of different girls and like just people that I met through just living, I guess, or whatever. And then, yeah, nothing ever really panned out. And I tried internet dating and not one person ever clicked on me or called me. So I just was
What do you think it is? Do you think it's the standards of nowadays and the women, or do you think it's, maybe...
I don't know. I probably could have put out more effort for sure, but because I can barely take care of myself, I just maybe, I don't know if it's confidence or mental. Like,
I was going to say that.
How can I bring a woman in my life when I'm like just on edge, razor's edge of not survival, but
yeah, giving up and saying screw it and sitting in your damn PJs all day watching reruns of Murder She Wrote. I understand exactly what you're saying. Trust me.
Yeah,
most of us do. That's in the situation. But no, yeah. Another thing I was going to say, I talked to my buddy Daniel Ruiz. I can't roll the R's because Ruiz, but yeah, shout out Danny. Like he said, and I totally believe this. If you wake up in the morning and you're whole 100% confident in yourself and you do what needs to be done, when you leave that house that morning, you feel confident. No matter what you know what I mean? No matter who you are, if you're in a chair or not, self-care always comes first. So that's what I believe. You know what I mean? Like if you, and like you said, sometimes it's hard to do that when all this other crap's going on. But you remember the feeling of actually looking in the mirror, feeling good, getting ready to go, and then hitting out. You know what I mean? Like when you're in a chair, it's a little bit different. Obviously, you got a lot more stuff to do. It takes a lot longer to get around. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not one to give advice, trust me. But I like everybody to have an equal chance, and I feel like, man, I feel like there's somebody out there for everybody. It's just, you got to meet at the right time. Yep.
Yeah, opportunity and timing. I would love to have a wife or whatever, even a steady girlfriend, live in whatever. And I guess it just hasn't. I'm just, I guess, waiting for the right time or what, the right recommendation. I have one of my buddies' wives, or like all my buddies are married at this point, pretty much, or they were. Now a lot of my buddies are actually married and divorced.
How old are you now? I'm sorry, I'm just want to know.
I'm 45.
Okay.
45. So I'm kind of little past the age to find the right girl, I guess, at this point. But you never know.
I don't believe that.
You never know.
I've seen people 45, 50 years old that's found somebody, you know what I mean, and they finally are happy after all the time. But I mean, it's just like you said, it's the right time, right place, right time, and you got to be feeling it. You know what I mean? You can't fake the funk.
I mean, yeah, I'm just the time and having the free time to I just feel like I wouldn't make a good mate unless the girl was very low maintenance and didn't require a ton of attention, and then it could work fine. But it's hard to find the right one, like you said.
Unless you find a devotee.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. I don't want any weirdos.
But, Oh, you never know, man. You never know. Some of these people that go into the medical field are like devotees secretly. They just want to get close to somebody. You know what I mean?
Dude, I fell in love with my PT girl.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, and it was it was the worst because she was just an angel in Chicago, and I'm like, how do you even do this job? You're like literally an angel. I'm like, and then she's like doing PT on me, and I had an accident
Oh yeah,
the bad kind, and she's like cleaning me up and shit.
Code Brown.
I'm like, oh no,
That's the most embarrassing. Yeah.
I'm never gonna talk to this girl again, because a minute before that I was like working up the nerve to ask her for a number, and then yeah, that
Oh
killed that.
no.
So yeah, I was out on that, but yeah, I hope she found the right thing. I'm sure she did. She was literally flawless in every direction. But
Man, shout out to those girls who can work through the incontinence and get to the end of the night.
PTs,
You know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah, and she was an OT actually, but yeah, those people who do this all day, every day at those hospitals, man, I don't even know. I could hardly be in there, let alone work there. Like it was just, being in that turtle shell, like everybody's sticking suppositories where I don't, how it
Yeah.
goes.
Oh yeah.
I have other people doing things to me that I didn't think was going to ever happen to me in my life. So,
Yeah.
it is what it is. But yeah, those people need a massive shout out.
For sure. It's something you got to prepare yourself for. Like Greg says, he says it's happened to all of us, and that's one of the things that's like, it's one of my questions on here that we're gonna get to. It's kind of like, what would you, if you could have any kind of function back, what would it be? And a lot of people say that, I'd rather have my bowel program back, my bowel back, so I can control it.
I would say, I honestly, like, besides for when I first got injured, I don't know why or how it happened. Like, I pee the urine is a huge problem, but my bowels have been like almost flawless, even though I do my bowel program every other night before and then shower or whatever. And I've had like maybe 2 accidents in 13 years or whatever, bowel wise, but bladders every day, all day long, nightmare with Botox and Mirabetric. I try to do what I can to make it all right. But so yeah, I would say, yeah, getting my bladder control back would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's definitely on my top 3 for sure. What about pet peeves? What's your biggest pet peeve about being in a chair?
Oh man, the wheelchair maintenance people, probably. I don't know. Just having problems right now. My front right caster's seized up, and to get parts will be months. So I'll just buy them online.
Oh, freaking insurance! I've heard from so many people that said it's so much easier to do it your damn self and stop waiting and just spend the $15-$20 or whatever it is, buy the part and do it yourself.
Yeah, it's a nightmare dealing with these people. Just they're
what's crazy though is I gotta say, like in Minnesota, it might be different than Michigan, because in Michigan we have a place called CareLink. Where I can call CareLink and I can just go right up there. They'll put me in. It might be a month from now, but once they get me in, they'll do it, take care of me, fix it, and get me right out. But that's because insurance pays for that.
And they have all the parts in house.
If they don't, what they do is they order them. So like, you can tell them what's wrong with your wheelchair, and they'll either have the part there, or they'll order that part, or they'll say, we'll bring it in and then let us do an evaluation, and then we'll figure out what needs to be done, and then they'll order what they need. But they're usually pretty fast. Like here, it's called CareLink. I don't know. You probably don't have the same company in Minnesota, but
yeah, I use Adapt Health or whatever, and they between all my stuff, like it's months and months to do.
Have you ever had a case manager?
No. Is that through Medicare, or how do you get a case manager?
See, and this is another thing I feel bad about, but it's like, see, me, I was in an auto accident. I had full coverage insurance, and so in the state of Michigan, that's like the top of the top, you know what I mean? So they give you a case manager. They give you pretty much everything you'll ever need as far as wheelchair shit is paid for. Sorry for all those people, didn't mean to cuss, but yeah. So everything you need is paid for. So your wheelchairs, your... like the van I'm driving, I only paid $5,000 for, and it's a $74,000 van. Like, it's crazy. Like thank the Lord to this day, obviously, you know what I mean? Like, I'm so grateful for what I've been able to get, but like, I feel bad for other people because they're not able to get that stuff. Because they weren't injured the way I was injured with, the certain circumstances behind the whole thing.
Yeah, your car insurance is helping out, basically.
Exactly. It's called auto owner's insurance. So they pretty much help with anything, medical necessity, wheelchair necessity, mobility, anything like that. Now, if the van breaks down because I broke an axle or something like that, that's not their fault. They're not going to pay for that. I have to pay for that. Regular maintenance, oil changes, stuff like that. I pay for all that stuff. But anything like if the ramp breaks or, if my easy lock mechanism quits working or something like that, then they can pay to fix that. Or like you said, casters or whatever. So yeah, I mean it sucks, and I think the way that our medical system, and we've said it before, in this country, it's all screwed up. It's all messed up. It's all about profit, and we all know about that. It's all about money. It's what it is. The medical industry is the same as the pharmaceutical industry. It's all about money. It's all about profit.
Why are you in an electric chair if you're a para?
Well, a couple reasons why. First off, in order to get in my van and drive my van, I have to be in this chair. I can't drive my van in a manual chair. This chair has a bolt on the bottom of it that locks into what's called the Easy Lock system.
Couldn't you transfer into the driver's seat?
I could, yes, but because my insurance pays for everything, I got like the top of the line. So also, at my property, I live in kind of a country setting. And it's like real rough ground. We got gravel, we got grass, we got rocks. And so the power chair just like glides right over it. If I was in a manual chair, it would take me 3-4 times as long to get from the house to here. So it just makes sense. I mean, I still do have the manual that I use inside the house, like if we're not going anywhere or whatever. But yeah, it's a blessing and a curse, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you got both. That's good.
Yeah, yup, and I guess my biggest advice would be to anybody is to move to Michigan, get full coverage auto insurance, and then get into your accident.
Yeah, no shit, huh?
But
That'd be nice.
What is something now that you wish you could do that you can no longer do? What is one thing?
Oh man, ride my dirt bike.
I was waiting for it. I knew it was coming.
Yeah, ride my dirt bike would be nice. Yeah.
Now I have seen paraplegics ride motorcycles.
Oh yeah, I know. They have. There's like Doug Henry. I don't know if everybody probably knows who that is, but he's a famous pro that got hurt, and he rides the big roll cage, and he's still like, I don't know how he does it, but he rides extremely fast. But he has the best. He's a factory rider, so he has engineers helping him. And
of course.
He's one of those ultimate badass guys. But yeah, I mean, it's possible. I'm already I have so many injuries. I don't even if somebody.
Bro, I don't want to go on a trip to Ohio, let alone get on a dirt bike. I feel what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm over that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, on to the next question. So, this actually is a question I never really asked people. I've been starting to, but what type of wheelchair do you have?
Tylite. What is this thing? Tylite TR.
Do you got a name for it?
Not really. No, I never did name them. I named my other stuff, but I didn't name my wheelchair, which
not everybody does. Not everybody does.
Yeah.
What up, Defiant Smash? Good to see you. All right, let's move on to the next one. What about your pain levels? Any pain? What's your pain like?
Yeah, it's really all over the board, like up and down, depending on what I'm doing. But I've had disc issues in my neck where I had the nerve pain this winter, and luckily I don't know if it healed or if the cortisone shot's still working, but I've been through the ringer with pain all over the place, up and down, back hurts, shoulders, everything kind of hurts. And then some days, if I'm doing I got my rubber bands set up on that thing. You might be able to see them hanging from my staircase. I do therapy on my rubber bands, and I like,
oh yeah, I see them,
if I'm so sometimes I'm low pain, sometimes high, and I guess weather / what I'm doing / how I guess what my body's doing, like, so it's all over the board. But I would say I definitely have pain in my back from sitting all the time would be biggest pain, or constant pain,
right.
But
do you like, because I was just talking about this the other day, do you think that like hydration, obviously nobody hydrates enough, do you think hydration's a big part of it? Like if you stay hydrated, do you think it kills your pain a little better?
I don't know. I never really put that 2 and 2 together. I guess Yeah, I don't know. I would
I mean, it kind
say,
of makes sense if you think about the,
yeah,
the squeaky wheel
yeah,
gets the
yeah,
grease type deal.
yeah. I would say that it might. I just, if I was in a lot of back pain or whatever, I don't usually think of water to cure it. Just put it that way. But
No, for
I guess
sure. What
it's
type of,
probably
oh, go ahead.
no. I'm just saying it's probably makes sense that I guess I haven't really thought of it like that, but it's probably something that should be thought about.
What type of medication do you take for your back pain?
I have baclofen and I have Flexerol, and that's it. And I take Tylenol and Advil. They won't give me. When I first got injured, they'd give me as many Percocets and whatever I wanted, and then
Yeah, they always do. They
um,
try to get you hooked on
I,
them damn things.
yeah, they had me good to go. And then I'd say like 7 years ago, so I had 5 years where like I could have pretty much anything I want, and then now they won't give you one of those ever, even when I get hurt or whatever. Nothing, no.
Have
They
you ever
won't.
asked for like gabapentin?
Yeah, I tried it. They'll give you as much of that as you want. I don't, doesn't seem to do anything for me.
See, yeah, it's weird because for me, like, I can tell a difference. Everybody asks me, like, my doctor's like, can you feel it working? Does it make a difference? And I'm like, yeah, actually. Because I can tell, I can tell, like, if, especially in the morning when I wake up and I'm like, super like dehydrated or just, my back's hurting real bad, I'll pop a gabapentin and then it'll allow me to go back to bed, until I'm ready to get up. Then I'll get up and be like, yeah, I feel better. But I don't know. It's not for everybody. Everybody's different. All injuries are different. Um, the next question I got for you is what helped you the most after your injury?
What helped me the most?
Yep.
It's just staying busy. That's like, I think the most important thing is, staying busy. Just don't sit around and, if you catch yourself sitting around like nothing, just nothing to do, just go make something, go to the store, go to Target, go to the gym, go, whatever your body will let you do that day. Get out and do something, where you're occupied. Staying occupied, I think, is my most important thing to do, whether it just miscellaneous anything. I don't care what it is. Just can't sit around and like, dwell on crap, even though you're going to do that anyway. But the more busy you are, the less time you're thinking about all your problems. And then, time goes by and you can, I guess that would be my biggest advice to anybody newly injured is to stay busy, try to do obviously a job that you like. I hope you have passion for whatever career you have so it's not miserable going to work. That's another important thing I could recommend is I don't care how little you get paid. If you like it, it's worth it, and just figure it out. But if you're going to be a stockbroker and you hate it and you're doing, miserable work trying to get rich, I guess I just wouldn't want to do that personally.
No, yeah, it's definitely, because for a lot of us, let's face it, I mean, SSDI or, disability income don't pay jack squat. So you got to do something, you know what I mean? And like for me, I do a little bit of advertising, but I've done that before. So it's like, it's simple for me. I just sit on the phone, call businesses, sell ads on restaurant placemats and make sure I don't make it, too much, but I make enough to where I can do something.
Right.
And it pays the bills. Not everybody can do that. I've tried to teach people to do that. Not everybody has the gift of gab, I guess. But yeah, like you said, it's something that you want to do, something that you like doing. Stay busy, and shout out Brian Swift. I've talked to him before on here. And I remember the story where he said that, the first day he'd go out and he'd make it down a couple houses and then turn around. Then he'd make it 4 more houses and then turn around and come back. Then next thing you know, he's going all the way to the end of the block and back, then around the block. And then, the more you go, the better you feel. The more your body moves, the more, you know what I mean, the less pain you're going to have type deal. Getting down to the nitty gritty, number 8, what is your hobbies? Obviously before was the dirt bikes. What about afterwards? What did you kind of gravitate to? I remember you said something about sit skiing, but you didn't stick with that.
No, I just did that when I was in Colorado a little bit. It was just too expensive, too hard to do on my body. You need help getting in and out of it, but it is cool. If you have the right people around you and you live out there, I highly recommend it. But my thing is fishing. I guess that's like my favorite pastime. If you don't, count going to the gym or just going to the dirt bike races. I mean, I try to do a lot of stuff, but fishing is my hobby, I guess I would say.
Heck yeah. That's actually a good hobby. Nice and calming, nice and peaceful.
I mean, it can be. I take it pretty serious, so it's not as
This
calming.
guy's a competitor. He's out there trying
Yeah,
to get the big,
I mean, my boys, you know, I like to outfish them out of the wheelchair so I can talk crap. But you know, yeah, I love fishing, so I guess that'd be my hobby that I'll hopefully be able to do forever. You know, so.
Hey, I'll tell you what, you ever make it to the St. Clair Shores area of Michigan, which is the lower part of here in Michigan? I got a buddy of mine. His name's Brandon Pickens. He does terrific St. Clair River boat tours where they take you out on a wheelchair and you can catch sturgeon. I'm talking like 5 feet, big 100-pound sturgeon, like big fish.
I would love to do that.
That's
I actually
crazy.
I own and manage a building in St. Clair Shores. Funny thing you mentioned that.
Really?
Yeah, off Harper Avenue.
Nice. We're gonna have to get a hold of Brandon and get a hold of you and be like, hey man,
Yeah,
we gotta meet him up.
I'm coming out. I have to come out there this fall to just meet my clients and whatnot. And I ended up buying this property. It's a real strange story, but yeah. So I'll be out in St. Clair Shores and East China, as I have a friend who lives up on the river in East China or whatever.
Nice.
So I'm going to be out there this fall. So we'll have to hit up if you want to go fishing. That would be awesome. You live in St. Clair Shores?
No, actually, I live over towards Jackson area. I don't know if you know where that's at, but I love living in Michigan because I can just do this. So literally, I live like right about here.
So you live just west of Detroit then?
Yeah, so Detroit's like over this area, and I'm about right here. So I'm about probably about an hour and a half, not even that, about an hour away from Detroit, hour and 20 minutes or so. And my buddy's been trying to get me out on these boats forever. I mean, maybe we'll make a YouTube video out of it and see what we can come up and do.
I would love to go out there with him for sure. That would be sick.
That'd be cool.
I'm driving out there for work purposes, but I would, you know, if he's got hotel recommendations, whatever, I'm going to be out there for probably 5 days. I don't know. I figure if I'm going to be there, might as well be there for enough time to like check out Chicago Detroit and, you know, see,
yeah, it's a lot safer now, I hear, during the daytime.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much time I'll be downtown, but I'd like to eat some Detroit pizza, which is some of my favorite. You know, I want to fish for sure as much as that, you know, I can. I know they have tons of walleyes, and it blows my mind the way they fish out there because there's so much current. You literally just anchor your boat and you throw your rapalas out, which normally you have to be trolling for, but the current's moving at like 10 miles an hour. So your bait just goes down to the bottom and your boat's not even moving. It's just, I've watched videos and it's crazy. I've never fished in water moving that fast. So
I can tell you got passion, man. You got knowledge, you got passion. You're like, yeah, I want to check that out.
Yeah,
See, I don't know that much about fishing. To me, it's just like, man, get me on shore, just give me a pole and let me sit with a bobber. Like, I'll be happy with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't do that in St. Clair Shores.
Hell no, you can't.
No bobber
man.
fishing.
Nope.
That shit's heavy weights, or you got to use a lipped lure that just dives down in the current. But I'm sure there's probably places somewhere around there you can get out of the current. But all the videos I watch, I like walleye fishing, so I watch all these videos, and these guys just slay them out there. But how they fish is just crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, dude, I'll send you a link to his YouTube and stuff, and have you check out his stuff,
Yeah,
and then
sweet.
yeah, you can get a hold of him, and we'll set you up. I'll make sure you cross his path. Next question I got for you is about traveling. How do you feel about now after your injury traveling? Is it a pain in the back literally, or is it you don't mind it?
The only thing I don't like is that damn aisle chair is so annoying. And
I won't get on no plane. Screw that. You especially nowadays, bro. You're brave.
Yeah, I do it all the time, and it sucks. But you know, I was hoping that someday Delta or there should be at least one row. Like I've been on a couple planes where I can wheel right to my seat, and it just transfer. If your seat is right there where the entrance to the plane is, you can actually get into some seats. But it's been just like. You know, I have another seat booked, and then the stewardess or the people up at the little booth before you get on are like, oh, we can put you here, and then I can wheel on. I don't have to deal with that stupid aisle chair, but that only happened like twice in my life. But
yeah, they need to get these damn things where you can just come and just secure in like a vehicle. You ain't got to get out of your chair or nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why the hell they don't do that.
Well, I don't even mind getting out of the chair just because, you know, you have a safer spot, I guess, in case shit does go bad. But I just, there should be one row on every plane by law that's wheelchair accessible. And
Right.
whether you got to transfer or not doesn't really bother me that much. But to do the dealing with then they could get rid of the aisle chair, which would be great, and they wouldn't have to, they have to train their people, and the aisle chairs just suck,
I mean,
really
I'm good on
annoying.
transferring. I'm going to bring my Johnny 5 power wheelchair, and they will give me a parachute, and I'll be fine. I'll be totally fine. Put me by the door, so if the door blows off and I get sucked out, I can just unbuckle, hit the parachute, and then be good to go.
You're good.
You know what I mean?
As long as you don't land anywhere cold or
in the
whatever,
water, yeah, like, in the ocean.
you can swim.
I can
Wear
just
your
see it
life
now
jacket.
on the front page of Dallas News. Man in wheelchair lands in farm field. Says it was an incredible ride. That'd be hilarious.
That would be a pretty scary ride, I'll tell you that much.
I bet you wouldn't want to go flying after that again. I lived it. I'm great. All right. It brings us down to the last question that we have, which you kind of said it earlier a little bit about your advice, but just to reiterate, what would be to a newly injured person that's got the same exact injury as you, laying in that hospital bed right now, looking up at that TV, watching this, what would be your biggest piece of advice to that person?
For surely stay busy. Do all the healthcare crap that they're teaching you, and make sure you know it in and out to take care of be as independent as you can, I would say, even if it's a pain in the ass, and doing your laundry and all that stuff, washing dishes, just tough it out, because you're going to eventually grow up and not want to live with your parents probably, and depending on your situation, but every injury is different, whatnot. But yeah, I would say just make sure you're working on your independence, no matter how frustrating it is and how bad you don't want to give up your old life. The sooner you can adapt to your new life, the better you will be, for sure. And then just stay busy and do things that you like, because being disabled sucks so bad. So you can't be in a wheelchair and have a crappy life and then go to a job you hate too. There's got to be something good throughout your day that keeps you going, that makes you want to, be successful. Mental success, is the key, because financial success you can always get once you're mentally successful, you can work around it and make it happen. Yeah, I would say, be as independent as you can and stay as busy as you can, and try not to let yourself, depend on your parents, or it depends how old you are. Just, don't make your wife or girlfriend or parents do everything unless you can't do it. So even though they want to help you, and to watch you wash dishes is probably annoying for them, because they're like, oh, I'll just do it. But
all right, get out of my way. Let me do it. I can do it faster.
Yeah, right. And I don't break, and I bang shit around, whatever. Just tell them, no, I'm going to do it. And if I break a dish, we'll buy another one.
You feel a lot more accomplished afterwards too. Let me just say that.
Yeah, do your laundry, whatever it takes. Make your bed and whatever you want to do, but just try to be independent and stay busy. And those are about the most important things, I'd say, mental health wise.
Awesome. Round of applause for that, sir. Appreciate you coming on the show. I will say this. Everybody watching, thank you for watching. Please make sure you subscribe, like, share it. Share it to your friends and family. Everybody's going to enjoy this. Ryan, thanks for coming on again. If you want to stick with me, what we're going to do is we're going to put all of Ryan's information down below in the description, so you can follow him on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever he's got. And then if you guys are looking for merch, I just got a new store up with the Wheelchair Mafia merch, and that's in the description. Go check that out. Got some good price stuff in there, and we're putting new stuff in there all the time. So, for me here at the Wheelhouse Studios, and from Ryan, thanks for watching. Ryan, stick with us. Everybody else, we'll see you on the next one. This has been Wheelchair Wednesday. See ya.
Later.